Anthropic just released data from 1.2 million Claude Cowork sessions. The biggest use case, by a huge margin, is not writing code. It is not debugging. It is not CI pipelines. It is pulling scattered updates into a single report, building onboarding checklists, and reconciling spreadsheets, business process, and operations. 33.4% of all sessions. Software development came in at 8.7%. That is not a rounding error. That is a signal. And today, Cowork went to mobile and the web, which means whatever is happening with that 33%, it is about to happen faster. Here is what changed, why it matters to developers specifically, and what the non-obvious read on this data actually is. Cowork launched in January as a desktop-only product. The pitch was clear: give Claude access to your local files and browser, let it work on tasks autonomously, have it check in when it needs permission to proceed. That pitch was aimed squarely at developers and power users, but Anthropic sampled 1.2 million sessions across more than 600,000 organizations between May 11 and May 31. What they found upended the product roadmap. Business process and operations, 33.4%. Content creation and copywriting, 16.4%. Research and analysis, 12.8%. Software development, 8.7%. The tool that was built for people like you is being used at a 4-to-1 ratio by people who are not writing a single line of code. So why does this matter to you if you are a developer? Two reasons. First, the infrastructure you are competing for, context window, rate limits, the quality of the underlying model, is now being shaped by the needs of 600,000 organizations who want to reconcile spreadsheets, not ship software. That is not necessarily bad. Scale drives better models, but the use cases that get the most attention in product roadmaps will increasingly not be yours. Second, and this is the one worth sitting with, the things that Cowork is being used for were often done by developers, not the spreadsheet reconciliation specifically, but the connective tissue between systems. The automation of repetitive operations work, the report generation that used to require a Python script or a custom integration. That work is disappearing into Cowork sessions run by the OPS team directly. You did not write that code, but you would have been asked to 6 months ago. Here is what the mobile and web launch actually adds. Desktop Cowork has always required your machine to be on and the app to be running. Sessions could not persist across a closed laptop. Starting today, Cowork sessions run remotely in the cloud. Your laptop can be off, the agent keeps working, it sends you a notification when it needs permission to move forward. Claude, Chat, and Cowork have also been merged into a single view. No more switching tabs. You start a conversation, escalate it to a Cowork session, and pick up from wherever you left off. On web, on mobile, on your desktop. The desktop is still better for one thing: local file access and a real browser. If your task touches local files or requires a browser session on your machine, you still need the desktop app. Everything else can run on your phone. The other thing, launching today, Anthropic is extending doubled Cowork usage limits through August 5th. If you are on a max plan, you have twice the Cowork capacity for the next month. Now, here is the counterintuitive read on all of this. Cowork started as an agent for developers. The data shows it got adopted faster by everyone else. Anthropic's response was not to refocus on developers. It was to go to mobile. That is the right call. The market signal is clear, but the practical consequence is that Cowork is going to look increasingly like a general purpose enterprise agent, not a coding tool. The features that get built next, mobile notifications, background processing at scale, integrations with Google Workspace and Office 365, will be driven by that 33.4%. For developers using Claude Code, nothing changes today. Claude Code remains the better product for terminal work, agentic coding tasks, and anything that requires tight integration with your local environment. Cowork was never a replacement for that, but the distinction is worth keeping in mind as both products evolve separately. The stat to take away from this week is 8.7%. Not because it is alarming, because it tells you exactly where you sit in the product strategy of every major AI company right now. You are an early adopter. The product was built for you first. The mass market followed, and now the roadmap will follow the mass market. That does not mean the tool gets worse for you. It means you need to be paying attention to Claude Code, not Cowork, if agentic coding is your use case. And it means the automation wave that developers expected to come for other people first is already here. It just came through Cowork instead of a robot writing the code directly. If you want to know what else is changing this week, GPT 5.6, Sol is about to launch on Codex, and there's a safety evaluation from METR that you need to know about before you trust its benchmark scores. That is next. Subscribe to Agentic by JB so you do not miss it.